Thank you.
There you go.
You know, there's a strike.
Yeah, so I passed my team, I'm putting directly into the end guest. I'll let the university manage. See how it goes.
I don't know how good they are at managing things.
That's right. It's a different building these days, isn't it? Almost. I mean, it's the same shell, different innards. Hooray! It's a new year, everybody.
Yes.
Welcome to the January Omaha Astronomical Society meeting. So, and as we're all Zoom experts here, right, John Poole?
Sure.
Yes. Do we have any guests in Zoom tonight?
Yes.
Yes, I'm here. My name's Nate. I'm here for the first time.
Somebody go first. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Now we can't. Now he can't. He muted himself.
Oh. Now we can't hear you because you muted yourself. Tell.
Apparently, I'm the Zoom expert, huh? Okay. Okay. So yeah, my name is Nate. I'm a pharmacist, and I just got a new telescope for Christmas, and I'm really excited to kind of starting to get into the hobby. So that's why I'm here. So yeah.
What kind of telescope, Nate?
So I got a telescope for as a gift. It's like a 130 aperture, 650 focal length reflector with a equatorial mount. And it's working fine, but I just did more research about the brand, and I think I'm going to be ending up with something else, but I don't want to sidebar the meeting right now talking about that.
Everybody ends up with more than
We
one.
can,
telescope.
Because I could yap for a while about that.
Sure.
Get you set up on Discord and you can ask a lot of questions on there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you guys.
For the break.
Cool. Well, welcome, Nate. Who else was, I saw Chip raise their hand earlier.
Hi, I'm Chip Thompson, and I'm new to this whole hobby. As you can see behind me, I've got a couple of fun toys. I'm getting into astrophotography, and I own a design company here in town and have been doing that. My company turns 17 on Monday. So yeah, just excited to see what the group is about and see about maybe getting involved.
Cool. Welcome.
We do have a good group of astrophotographers.
We do have a big group of astrophotographers. That's true. They're also in Discord. I'll let John talk that up, Mr. Poole.
We have some guests here too.
Yeah, do we have guests here? Yes.
Jeremiah McIntyre, I said I joined for my family. My son is extremely interested.
Oh, sweet. How did you find out about us?
I was actually Googling, trying to find out spots in Omaha that have low light pollution. And I saw something about your Swinsky Park event.
Mhm.
And then I saw that you were having a meeting, so I thought I'd check it out.
Like today, you found it?
I found it last week, I think.
Oh, okay, very good. Cool. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Alexander Parks. I just have been really interested in astronomy for kind of a while. So I found this, I don't even remember how I stumbled upon it, but I found it sometime last month and I wanted to start going to the meetings because I just got a telescope for Christmas as well.
Nice.
Cool, excellent.
But yeah, so I wanted to see if there's anything here.
Yeah. Well, welcome. There's a lot of us here, isn't there?
Yeah.
This is a good meeting tonight.
Yes.
Is there any folks else back here maybe?
My parents used to come to these meetings and I just have memories of going to the park and looking through the telescopes and found it really, really interesting. So I'm here to see it again, I guess.
Oh, great.
Good.
Awesome.
And who were your parents?
James DeLay and Margaret Graham.
Okay.
They was a little, like, 25 years ago, pretty much. so.
Back when he had hair?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I remember the name.
Well, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Anybody else? Well, by becoming members, you'll get a copy of the Reflector magazine. It's quarterly, as well as access to our dark site near Weeping Water, Astro Park. And we do have telescopes that we do loan out as part of the loan program. So if you want to try a different style of telescope, different mounts, we probably have them, and you can check them out for a couple months to see what you think about them. The monthly newsletter, the Stella, has a lot of information in it. A lot of the calendar items are coming up as meeting notes. And we do have our Discord server set up, and you can vote on all the fun business meeting stuff. Like tonight, we got to do the budget. Woo! Yeah, there's some excitement.
Looked at a few of those.
Yeah. So upcoming important dates. Well, we're supposed to do astronomy in the parks on Tuesday, but I don't know if anybody's checked the weather forecast lately. Tuesday does not look like it's going to happen. So unless you like to go do snowmen in the snow, that's not gonna happen. And Miserable is coming up in June. OAS is hosting that. We're hoping to have registration up within the next month. So excited. We've had at least 7 people sign up to do speaking at Miserable. So it's looking pretty good. There is a groups.io for the Mid-States region. So OAS as a club is a member of the Mid-States region of the Astronomical League. Think of it as like a chapter of the nationwide Astronomical League. So it's Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, and the northern slice of Oklahoma. Someday that maybe they'll reform, but the southern portion of Oklahoma tends to be part of the Okie-Tex and the Texas Star Party group. But there's some posts that go on there from a regional perspective. NASA's JPL does have the Night Sky Network. There is some information there. We need to do better on posting things, but for the most part, our website kind of takes care of that. But people do discover us through Night Sky Network and our information through that. There is a fan shop. Mike has his hoodie on. You get OAS branded stuff. Did anybody go to Astro Park in the last month? One. Anybody in the chat go to Astro Park? John, did you go?
I did go. I went twice in December.
Ooh, that's 2. That counts as 2.
Cassie's got her
Now 3.
thumb up.
You went twice.
He went twice, then Bill, that's 3 people.
Yep, I went with John.
Okay,
Once or twice.
4.
And I went out there once as well.
Ian went up.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Sweet. 5. Cool.
Can do astronomy. You can
Oh.
do astronomy.
Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a few awards to present tonight.
Yes, we do.
I'm gonna stop my screen share for the moment.
Okay. Hi, guys. We have 3 awards tonight. I'm super excited about that. Yeah. So for those who are new, just so you know, when you're a member, you're eligible to apply for several different awards programs. There's, oh, thanks.
Well, I was gonna hold it.
Thanks. So the awards programs are for all kinds of things from helping our club out with outreach to observing different things in the sky. There's all kinds of different awards from beginner to advanced awards. So there's something for everyone. And they're kind of fun. So the first award we want to give tonight is for outreach. We have a member who completed hours for an outreach award. So for the new folks, our club does interactions with the public. This could be just like going to Mahoney and pulling out the telescopes and showing people the night sky. It can be doing presentations to the scouts, that kind of thing. And we have an outreach award. So this member got an outreach award for spending 10 hours of volunteer work for outreach. That has to include, each event has to be at least 2 hours a minimum. So if you do 5 events, 2 hours, you get your basic outreach award. And then if you do more hours, you can get like step that up to different levels. We so appreciate that because it really helps us as a club. You know, that's how we, you know, get the public interacting with us and excited about astronomy, and it helps us continue into the future. So it's super important. So I believe Sharon McLean is here tonight. We have her award. And so for anybody who doesn't know, you get an award that we frame for you, and you also get a cool pin. So it's very exciting. Yeah. It's very exciting. And so we'll have you hold the award there. John's gonna take our picture. So. It'll look lovely. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really took advantage of all the outreach opportunities. in
We
the
appreciate
fall.
that. Yes, the full is here. Yeah. We have another member who has earned 2 awards that we want to talk about. The first one is an outreach award, just like the one we just talked about for Sharon. So we always really appreciate that. And the second one is a constellation program. So there's a program where you can earn for seeing all the constellations that they list. The Astronomical League has a list of specific constellations that they want you to look for. There's 39 in the northern skies. And so you have to sketch the constellation and also include just a little bit of information like your latitude and longitude, that kind of thing. So this member completed all those sketches, found all the constellations, sketched them, and did all the requirements, fulfilled all the requirements. So we have a constellation award as well for him and the outreach award, both of them. The constellation award is really neat because especially if you're a beginner, if you get down those constellations, it really helps you get around the night sky. So that's a great one. To either learn those constellations or to refresh your memory about where they all are to help you like find your way around the night sky. So that is really neat. And this member is Ashton. Sure, am I gonna say that right? Austin, oh, I'm so sorry.
We do 2 pictures.
Well,
I don't know, yeah.
what we'll do is we'll hold both of them.
He's got 2 hands.
Here. Oh, I want to point out, you guys, this, so all the awards look a little bit different, but this one, I don't know if you can see it, they put like constellations all the way around the award. So if you want to see it closer, ask Austin.
Over
And-
towards the
Yeah, you
camera.
gotta step a little bit towards center. There you go. Now it looks really good.
It's really neat. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this up like right here, so that we have both of them. John laughed at me for holding but they're both Austins.
All right,
Thank you.
You got the
And
pins
those are
and
yours
the
twice,
letter and-
and here, we give you one paper to go with that, because those are the cards that they don't need, one bubble wrap. Pins, the pins are also super cool, if you get a chance,
Yeah.
ask them to see the pins, because I'm a big fan of the pins.
Awesome, great.
Got it? Yeah, thank you, Austin. Not-
Hooray. I don't remember what's next. You'd think I'd know after doing it all these years. Observing chair. Okay, I gotta find your slides here just a second.
There's quite a few things to observe in January if the weather clears up, but if not, you might as well sit at home with a hot chocolate. But Happy New Year. So the planets, of course, always put on a spectacular show. Jupiter and Venus have been brilliant. Saturn is still in the evening sky. And you can always use, Jupiter and Saturn to help you find your way to Neptune and Uranus. They're always good signposts. Mercury is going to start showing up in the morning, and so is Mars. And if the weather is clear on the 8th and 9th morning, Jen, you can see Moon and Venus and Mercury forming triangles, right angle triangles at different positions on the 8th and 9th. And the Moon and Jupiter have a conjunction on the 18th. Full moon on the 25th and new moon on the 11th. The quadrantids peaked on the 4th, but with our skies, probably nothing to see. And there's been at least 3 comets that I looked at, and these are just links. You can look up these comets on inthesky.org and find their path in the sky. Not all of them are really bright, but they anticipate these will be visible. And we should be able to see them in the northern hemisphere. And the other one that I actually found interesting, I think this does not look very good on this particular slide. It looked great when I typed it in. Is the lunar occultation of Antares. We had lunar occultation of Mars when Mike and I stood out in like -5 degrees to look at that for a couple of hours. And then we had the lunar occultation of Beta Scorpii a couple of years ago, and I know John was there, and we managed to see it through murky skies. But this is not going to be visible given our weather forecast. But there's the site, is the International Occultation Timing, which is a fun site that gives you all these occultations and it tells you what the sun altitude is, the moon, the position of the moon, and CAPA and VA are cusp angles, position angles, and vertex angles that gives you a relationship of where the object that's being occulted is in relation to the limb of the moon and the timing. So as you can see, the sun altitude is 0. So this starts at 13:55 is about 7:55. We're already in daytime hours, so we're not really going to get a good idea of how this is going to look. And reappearances here a few hours later at 9. So even though this is interesting, I don't think even if the skies were clear, we would have a great way to see it. But I think it's always fun to look this up and find out what's going on. It was always fun to watch. And I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonali. Outreach.
You got it. Hello, yes.
To the center.
Maybe on camera. Thank you for all of the hard work you guys have put in to get those outreach awards, and hopefully you will inspire some others to do some outreach. It's a lot of fun to interact, especially when you get kids and every time you hear that's so cool or oh my gosh, their faces light up. So it's kind of rewarding. We have a pretty light month. We have Zerinsky on Tuesday, as was previously mentioned. That's probably going to be a cloud out, unfortunately. And then the only other event we have is a Cub Scouts event on Tuesday, the 23rd at Faith Westwood Methodist Church, about 126th and Center, or L Street rather.
Industrial.
And
7 p.m.
Yep, 7 o'clock. It's an indoor event, either way. So if it's clear, I could definitely use, as many volunteers as want to come out and set up scopes. But I do need, maybe 1 or 2 other people. I think, one of you two, one of the A team
I
said that they were gonna,
haven't yet.
so Andrew, volunteered to help with that.
Steve Condry did.
And Steve did on Discord, I think.
Yeah.
Sonali and Diana, I think both offered to help as well. We're gonna do just our usual slideshow presentation, and then maybe set up some scopes inside and, look at the moon picture on the wall kind of thing. There's probably 20-some kids. So that's it for outreach.
Well, mention the thank you things here.
Yeah, we got some thank yous.
From last fall.
There's some on the table up front here too.
Also, thank you to everyone who helped do the library telescope program work days. We've got all 50 telescopes, for the most part, ready to go out. Eric, I'll talk to you about, are you back from Florida now or you're going to Florida?
No, I'm not gonna go for another month or so.
Okay, then I'll send out a letter and we'll start trying to get those out of your garage. But I appreciate you offering us the space for that. And that's it.
Yes. Thank you, Eric, for the storage and for Mike and the trailer to move the telescopes around and everybody who helped to get all those telescopes prepared. When we first did our first telescope work day, I think we had 6 telescopes. And that took us, about 7 hours?
Yeah, we were there past 5.
Yeah, and then this last time, we did 25 telescopes in, it was like, what, 11 to 3? Yeah. We're getting used to it. I mean, the Orion scopes are a little bit easier to do the modifications. Not as much drilling, but still, it's a lot of finder scopes to solder the battery packs in. We had like 4 of us just, conveyor belt making these things for hours. And once we finally put our heads up, it was like, oh, wow. What else is there to do, kind of a thing. But yeah, it's amazing. Amazing thing. Oops, wrong laptop. So there was a form. I gotta see if I got the Westwood Church on there. But we update this when we can with new information as we go. Telescope and binocular loan program, Stafford. I think you said that there hasn't been much change. I'll bring this to you.
Oh. You want to video?
Actually,
This is probably out of date.
yes, I agree. We can fix this here. These 11 by 80 binoculars came back in between Christmas and New Year's. The 20 by 80s went out. I think there's somebody out there who requested the 11 by 80s, but I haven't heard from that individual in a while, so I guess for now, those are available. The need, ETX, that one's actually checked out, and the 8-inch has been checked back in. So that's available too. And the 6-inch black and 6-inch white Dobsonians are no longer in our presence. So,
Oh,
we donated them to the.
I thought I fixed it after that.
Yeah, I thought we had to, but it crept back.
I know what happened. Because since I did, December was different from a schedule standpoint. I copied November's. That's from November.
That's that lived in look here.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'll.
Other than that, it's been a peaceful month.
Only 2 months.
Only 2 months out of it.
Please borrow some stuff. We're running
I
out of-
fixed it for December.
He doesn't want to get divorced.
Thank you. InReach, Cynthia. Cosmic Bowling.
All right, yeah, Cosmic Bowling, I've never tried it, it looks fun. Weather permitting, our next official quarterly social outing for members will be Friday, February 9th at 9:30 p.m. for Cosmic Bowling at West Plains Bowling in Omaha. Prices are up there, I
Sorry,
believe it's.
I had the shift key. It's a 6.
$6 for bowling and $4 for shoes.
Yep.
Um,
It's per game.
And stay tuned on our social channel on Discord for info on official member quarterly social events like this one. Plus unofficial impromptu meetups that any member can initiate, so. If you see like a sci-fi movie you think other members might wanna get together, you can just put it in the Discord social and organize an outing that way. We had our last outing in November. Was it November?
Yeah, Luminary.
Went to the Luminarium. That was really fun. We had about 10 or 12 people there. So, yeah, we're hoping to keep this up. Really fun stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. You don't have to go and come hang out. You can come hang out too. You don't have to.
You have to rent shoes.
You can experience the cosmic portion of the bowling.
Probably be my speed.
I'd forgotten that Les Lanes was over there.
Yeah, we were saying that too.
I used to, a couple of friends of mine used to be in a league over at West Lanes for a while. It's north of the Petco where it went, over there.
Yeah, it's on the other side. Behind the new
I
building,
can't
the
even
apartment building.
place it. I really can't.
There used to be the, what was it, the furniture place?
Yeah.
Amish.
Furniture Row.
Yeah.
Furniture Row
Yeah,
outlet,
That's.
and that's gone, and now it's an apartment.
Yeah,
building.
it's behind it.
So, on the other side of that.
The bowling alley's been there for.
Oh, has it?
Program chair.
Hello, I'm here.
Hi.
Giving a quick rundown of the program tonight, correct?
Yep.
Okay, first I've got something I want to run down some things for the 2024 OAS programs. And then after that, we'll head into the program. It's a short 25-minute really cool interview I found of this Native American gentleman who's Navajo, National Park Ranger, and he talks about his culture, his tribe's view of the stars, the night sky, and their kind of history of that. And that kind of might lead into our February program. Yeah, that's all I've got for now.
Great. So look forward to that in a few minutes. Dudley, you said you had an announcement you wanted to talk about.
You bet.
While you're walking up, someone found a hat and gloves in the parking lot. Insulate. Is this yours?
So.
Carhartt?
Well, I'm missing one.
Okay, good evening, everybody. The Offutt Air Show is the 23rd and 24th of August. And the Vice Chief of Staff of the Air Force is wanting the air shows to have much more STEM than air shows have had in the past. So I'm one of the guys on the board to pick the stuff to go into this innovation STEM stuff that's going on. So I have a small voice out of many, but what I can do is voice some space for the Omaha Astronomical Society. If you would like to bring some solar telescopes out there and set up on the tarmac or wherever it is we have our STEM location from. So if you have 2 or 3 of those and people that would like to man it and talk about how astronomy builds into STEM and, astro, whatever else, and airplanes and science and whatever else, I can try to champion that and get you on the title there, get you on the agenda. So what I would like to sign you up, so I can take that as a positive.
What's the dates again?
23rd and the
24th,
23rd is the Friday afternoon for setup. So that's kind of a dry run, but the air show for the general public is the 24th, 25th.
Where is that at?
Off air. Right. So
A little building lit site down.
Just a little site down there.
just little, big, long,
It's a runway, you can't miss it.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
Would we be able to have a canopy?
Shelter, canopy, tent.
Tell me what you need and I'll see what can be provided.
Okay.
I have no idea at this point. We are very early.
Provided, it's just whether we can get on.
You can get one.
Set up.
What now?
We could probably provide everything we need. It's just getting logistics, getting on and getting it
That's
set
what I
up.
will get you
That's where you
on
need to-
there on Friday, would be that Friday afternoon or during the day is when the setup would be happening. So all of that would be provided for you. I would need to have a point of contact give me the names so that we can get you through the gates. And it's easy enough to get you there on the Saturday and Sunday, because you're just part of the guests and you just go to the venue, you know,
Well, I
so,
mean, we're not gonna leave the scopes there probably.
right. So you have to come and go and work with that, so that's expensive stuff. I'm gonna try to get amateur radio in there as well, same thing with radios and antennas and things, so we don't wanna be leaving a lot of expensive equipment there. The key is have somebody there that can talk to it, make sure that it's safe. You know, it's like, you know, just the things that go without, shouldn't be needing to be mentioned, but you know, safety first. But a lot of oohs and ahs if young people, old people can come to a solar telescope and see the roiling sun up there, and in August, it's probably gonna be very roiling, so. But, if you're interested, I will take that as a positive and move forward and say Omaha Astronomy has indicated.
Yep, absolutely.
that they're-
Yeah, that's the stuff we wanna do.
Yep, perfect.
See stars.
Thank you. Any other school times for tonight? Okey-doke. That part is done. So. Jordan, can I do a 10-minute break and then have you do the program?
Yeah, that works.
Cool. All right. So it's what? 3 after. So let's just say, let's do 8:15. Is that fine?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're back to recording in progress. Hi, Jordan. It's good to see you.
All right. All right, I will get going then, if that's okay, John.
Yep.
Okay, first off, welcome to 2024, everyone. We made it through another year. Huzzah! And welcome to all of our guests, newcomers. Looking forward to hopefully eventually meeting all of you in person at one of our events. And I hope you can get a lot out of being part of the OAS. And just a quick intro to who I am and what I do for the OAS. I'm Jordan Concannon, been in the group for a number of years, since I think maybe high school or during college time. So I studied astrophysics back in college and wanted to continue my interests here. And I am what you would say, program coordinator. So that means every month during the OAS meetings, we have programs, presentations from people within the club, the society here, visitors and guests. There's people that I interview and record the interview, and then I'll show it later here. So kind of look forward to a different program every month on any and all kind of topics on astronomy, astrophotography, physics, up and coming news, just kind of whatever I can find and who I can find around the world. And we've had quite a few really fun programs the past, I think, 2 or so years that I've been doing it. So I'm really looking forward to doing some fun ones this year, which means I will get into my very, very short presentation, and then we'll get into the actual program for tonight. So looking forward to 2024 here in the OAS, your stellar growth. For 2024, technically we'll have 11 programs left after this. I potentially have someone for February that will kind of expand and build upon the short little program that we have tonight with the Navajo speaker. So after that, we have basically 10 programs, or I'll say 9, maybe 9 programs, because the December holiday party is not really a program, it's a party with door prizes. So that's really fun. So let's say 9 programs left. And for this year, actually last year, I received a lot of interest from people, especially a lot of newcomers to the group, maybe who had been in for a few months, but they're still relatively new to astronomy, astrophotography, observing. I got a lot of interest and questions and requests from them to kind of focus on some beginner programs for getting into everything that the OAS offers, from the telescope loan program to just observing in the outreach nights, or rent or loaning or taking one of those telescopes out of our collection here and using those, borrowing those, or just trying to get into observing and astronomy in general. So I want to try to hit some of that, but I also want to solve the interests and the desires of all of you who have been in here for a long time and who have heard so many programs from a lot of different people of all expertise levels. So I'm maybe thinking this year, if this sounds okay to everyone here, and I'd like to hear your feedback for, say, the 9 remaining programs, kind of build upon each one. So a combination of like beginner, going to advanced later on in the year. So it kind of maybe gives a refresher for a lot of people. And then by the time we get to the end of the year, there's some pretty advanced topics that if you've stuck with us for the whole year, you'll be really prepared for something like that. It's like a college course, I guess. And then we'll do a big old test at the end. How's that? And if you pass it, I'll give you a lollipop. Just joking. But I'm hoping to do something like that. But it's also, like I said, I want to keep everyone interested that's been here for quite a while. So besides that, I'll come back to this thing here. Besides that, I wanted to do an additional 1 to 2 topics, mini subtopics per month. And that would be like a 5 to 10, maybe 15-minute max video that I'm just going to create on the side. And then it's all based upon the interest from all of you. And then I'll upload it to YouTube along with all the other programs that I've done in the past. I'm trying to work through all the edits for all of those. I got a better video editing program, so I'm trying to put those through and get those uploaded. But how this works is you, as OAS members, submit your questions, your interest topics, your requests via this little form, and you can scan this QR code to go to that form. It's 1 question only. It's like a paragraph entry, so you can type whatever you want. And I will take those, kind of sort through them, and I'd like to create 1 to 2 little additional video resources for the OAS to watch in the meantime, in between meetings when you guys have nothing else to do, you're bored, or it's a clouded out night at the outreach, you can hop on, watch one of those things. But this list of topics and questions, along with some that I've already added in, will be, coming up every 2, about 2 every month. And it also includes, if you know someone or have a contact, or you would like to see someone give a presentation to the OAS, I'd love to have you put that in the same form. There's a little note there too, saying if you want to request a certain person, a physicist, a scientist, or someone at JPL or down at NASA, even someone local. I've had a few requests and mentions referrals for things like that in the past. If you have something like that, please put it in that same form. And I will do my best to go reach out to those people because I want to give programs that you specifically want to see, not just ones that I kind of stumble upon on Instagram or on the internet as I search around for people, or on LinkedIn. And I'm like, oh, this person looks cool. I want to do something that all of you truly want to personally see. So there's also the link down there. There's the QR code. It's going to be active for 14 days for 2 weeks because I want to get everything going by February so I can announce kind of the year's worth of programs to you and start reaching out to people right away and getting everything together right away. So like I said, in February, this is the second half of this little slide here. I'm going to reveal those potential topics. Maybe we can kind of do a short discussion on them and see if everyone's okay with those and any last minute requests. But I really encourage you as well to share your experiences and expertise. So if you personally would like to do a program or a presentation, put that in the form as well. Just say, hey, I like to do this. I've got this experience. I really want to share this. can we do it? And we will definitely work out a month for you to do it, because I was looking through all the past OAS programs, and I saw there is quite a few of you that have done a lot of presentations in the past, and they were really cool topics. And I'm trying to remember, I remember a lot of them, but I think even before I was a member with the OAS, you had a lot of people in the group who were doing that. So I'd love to see that come up again, whether it's, you're a beginner with the group, but you have a lot of experience with astronomy or observing in the past, or you're maybe an astrophotographer, something. I'd love to also get the members involved besides people outside in the community. So I'll also put this in the Discord channel under I think there's a programs subtopic and the QR code. So you can also go there to do that. But I really appreciate just as much input as possible from everyone, newbie or veteran OAS member. I really, really appreciate it. So we can build a really cool 2024 program set. So that's all I have. Do we have any questions from anyone online or at UNO before I move on to the real program for tonight? I can't see any hands either, so you'll just have to speak up.
Try it online. I think that all sounds great, Jordan.
Okay, cool. All right, let's move on. Hey, John, I didn't email this to you. I don't know if you're able to get that. If it's easier for you to bring this link up on your computer, you might have better reception and it might be clear audio and video. Yeah. My internet here has been off, a little iffy lately with all the I don't know, if it's cold, the winter. Yeah. Or I don't know what, yeah, I can stop sharing my screen.
Well, surprisingly, I cannot click it through the screen.
Put it in the chat.
That's fine. Can you put it in the chat?
Oh yeah. On that, that's a good idea. I'm glad I have you guys here.
He's gonna hold you to the lollipop promise.
Perfect. All right, lollipops it is. Okay, here we go.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a?
Three.
Three? Okay. That discussion's over.
All right, so I'll stop sharing my screen now and just this gentleman, like I said, he's a member of the Navajo Nation. He's actually a park ranger with the National Park Service, and where he is a park ranger is within the area that his tribe resides in. So he goes to work every day right where he lives, and he's sharing his culture, their history, how they see the stars, how they came up with things. It's a really interesting interview. And I apologize for not having any live recorded interview that we did or that I did for it. But I just thought this would be a really good lead up into February's program that I can't reveal quite yet, but it kind of leads up into it anyways. So on to you, John.
Great. Thank you, Jordan. All right. Let's see. I need to do share screen. I need to choose optimize and this one. Share. Get how to hide this thing.
Is there a pin?
Pin, I do not see. But if it plays like this, it should be okay. If I do full screen.
John, did you share your screen or did you share the app?
I shared the app. I chose the window.
Can they see it?
Yeah, if you can see it, then it's good.
Can you see it okay?
Yeah, the title on top is blocked out a little bit, but no, it's under the menu. Yeah.
We are.
Is that fine if I do it with the bar or try to hide the bar?
John, just move the bar. Grab it and move it.
Every time I move it, it goes somewhere else. I thought there was an auto hide.
They won't be able to find it again.
Floating control. I work in IT, everybody.
Now I don't feel so bad.
Going to present Ravis. So welcome, Ravis.
Who's got me?
I'm very happy.
Davey. No.
It might be the background.
No, somebody's got.
It's not muted.
You can mute everybody.
You gotta then turn that
Can you
back
do that
on.
for me?
He turned off the
Except me.
bar.
Oh, thank you.
Music's off.
That's all.
Happy to introduce you.
Thank you.
So Ravis Henry is from the US, and the presentation is The Night Sky Through Navajo Eyes. Ravis Henry belongs to the Navajo Towering House clan and is born for the Coyote Pass Chemes clan of the Navajo tribe. He originates from the place called Alamo, New Mexico, but was born and raised and still resides in the Canyon de Chinle, so sorry if I mispronounce something, Arizona, where he's currently a park ranger with the National Park Service since 2009. He works in the field of interpretation and education, sharing the stories and history of his people with visitors from all around the world. Ravis is a traditional knowledge holder and storyteller for his people, and he's learning the ancient ceremonial ways of the Navajo. He is also an artist, silversmith, creating pieces inspired by the stories of the land and his people. In this presentation, Ravis will introduce the Navajo perspective of the night sky, briefly sharing the stories of how the stars came to be, the Navajo constellations, and the stories behind them. So thank you, Ravis, and you have the floor.
Thank you. Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen here in a bit. Okay, can you confirm if my screen is being shared?
Perfect, beautiful.
Thank you. Let me first introduce myself, as it was stated, but I want to introduce myself formally in my native language. So if you can bear along with me for the moment here. Yaate, ado yaate ya Ravis Henry Dashijin, Kia anin shnedo my dashijni bashichin, Ashin Hitashich dot Natnasani Dashinal. Although I see late east so that na sha kunde chinle gish the chido kwe say has I gish yaho do at the kwe ke hasht. Kut I say it nitil can shnedo ni hoka di the ne apelash la inch. So good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in this beautiful world. My name is Ravis Henry, and I am of the Navajo tribe of the Southwest region of the United States. And my my clans, which are part of my identity, I am Towering House clan born for the Coyote Pass Jemez clan, and my grandpas are the Salt People clan and Tangle People clan. And I originally come from a place called Alamo, New Mexico. That's where my mother is from. That's where my grandmother and grandfather resided, and that's where my umbilical cord is buried, and that's where my roots are. But I was born in Chinle, Arizona, and I was raised most of my life with my father's family out in Chinle, Arizona, in the area of Canyon de Chelly. And Canyon de Chelly National Monument is one of our beautiful parks. That's a part of the National Park Service system here in the United States. So just a little bit about where I'm at. I work with the National Park Service in the field of interpretation with the Southern Four Corners groups of parks, and that includes Canyon de Chelly National Monument, the Hubble Trading Post National Historical Site, and Navajo National Monument. But my focus area and my work site is at Canyon de Chelly. And in Navajo, we call this place Tseyit, which translates to within the rocks. And it's a beautiful park in the middle of the Navajo Nation. It encompasses about 125 square miles of canyons. And in this canyon, we are one of the only park units that still has many people living in the canyon. In other words, the people here, they allow the Park Service to be here. And I am happy to say that, my family is part of that. So I come from this canyon. I literally work at home, and my family has been in this region for generations. And we are still farmers. We are still knowledge holders of the land and the stories. And we take care of our homestead and the ceremonies and the beautiful culture that we have embedded here at Canyon de Chelly. But I'm here this afternoon to speak to you all on a little bit about the stories of the stars. We had some great presentations here by the other two fellas talking about, the scientific aspects of the night sky and how they are being affected by light pollution. I want to take a different approach and share with you all, how we as indigenous people of the land, as Navajo people, see the night sky. So I want to take you on a little journey here just to storytell a little bit about, our perspectives, our views about how things came to be. And our stories of the stars began way back, since time immemorial, a time when there was no sun, there was no moon, there was no sense of time. And in this time, there was a place of darkness. And in this time of darkness is where our people begin our stories. And they talk about how our people migrated from different worlds, from the dark world into the blue world, then migrating into the yellow world and into the glittering world, the world that we live in today. And part of our story talks about the stars. And there's a story of how our deities, as we pronounce them in our language, the holy beings or the holy people, came together to decide, on how they could do something for the people, do something that could motivate and that could remind the people of the many different roles and responsibilities that we have as five-fingered people on this earth. And one of the ways that the deities decided to do this was to use crystals, use leftover crystals from the creation of the sun and the moon. And using these crystals, these chips and broken pieces of crystal quartz, the talking god and the home god and the black god and the changing woman, the first man, the first woman, all these many other deities came together. And it said that they came to the home of black god Hashejin. And there at his home, Hashejin, the black god, had a buckskin, a layer, a blanket of deer hide. And he laid that on the floor of his home. And on it were all these broken pieces of crystal quartz. And the deities began to talk, and they began to separate these crystal quartz. Then they began to make different designs, different symbols on this buckskin hide. And when they came up with a design or an image, they decided a story or a teaching that would be tied to that design and image. And when they agreed upon it, they put those crystals up into the darkness, up into the sky. And slowly, little by little, in this darkness of the night sky, stars began to appear. And the deities worked together, putting stars one at a time, different images, different designs with different stories and teachings that would be utilized for us as five-fingered people to remind ourselves of who we are and our role and responsibility as a human being. During that process, it's said that the coyote, who we call Ma'i, was a trickster and a very curious individual. He was also a deity as well. And the coyote, through his curiosity, began to see these crystals appear in the night sky, and he was curious on what they were, and he was curious on where they were coming from. So the coyote from there started to wander across the land until he came across the home of the black god, and he saw light coming from inside the home. So he howled out as he normally does and began to make his way to the black god's home. And when he got closer to the home, the deities heard the coyote's howl. They heard him coming. Then the black god and the other deities told the others to be quiet, to sit quietly. We can't let the coyote know what we're doing. Coyote is always coming with bad luck, with bad energy, and he's going to interfere with this process. So it said the black god grabbed a bundle of crystal quartz with that buckskin and hid it behind him. And at that point, the coyote came knocking on the door, invited himself into the home, and he says, he says, hello, greetings, everybody. What's going on here? And the holy people said to him, none of your business, coyote. We're talking about very important matters, and none of this concerns you. And the coyote was curious still on what was happening, and he tried asking the deities what was going on, and if he could be invited, if he could help. But the deities insisted that the coyote leaves. They asked him to leave, saying that every time he comes, something bad happens. So the coyote got fed up and angry, and he left. He left in anger, running out that door, and he says, fine, I will leave then. And he ran out the door and he howled, and he made it sound like he was running far, far away. He howled really loud, and then it got faint, and then it got quieter and quieter. Soon he stopped howling, and the holy people began to get back to work. They said, the coyote has left, let's get back to work. Black God put the blanket of deer hide back down and the crystal quartz back on top, and the holy people got to work. The coyote, though, didn't actually run away. He made it sound like he went away, but he just ran a short distance from the home, and he hid underneath a juniper tree. He crawled underneath that tree, and he was looking towards the home, and he could see underneath the door into the home of the black god, and he saw these crystals, all these glittering of crystals shimmering on that deer hide. And the coyote's eyes got big, and the coyote got really, really curious and wanted to know what was happening. He soon learned that the deities were taking these crystals and putting them up into the sky. And from there, he ran into the Hogan. He ran back into that Hogan, catching all the deities off guard. And he went straight to the middle of the Hogan where the blanket of deer hide lay. He grabbed that deer hide and he threw it all the way up into the sky. And all those leftover crystal quartz went flying up into the night sky. And he scattered the remaining crystals all across the night sky. And that's how the stars came to be, how we see it today. And they say that the coyote put the blanket back down, and he found one star left on that blanket, and he picked it up and he says, that's what he said, that this star here is going to be my star. All of you put something up there. Now this star is going to be me. And he put this star up into the southern hemisphere. And that's how the stars came to be.
Oops. Bad star. That's the university's bad luck.
The stars in the night sky have always been a very important part for us as Navajo people. For us as Navajo people, especially there at Canyon de Chelly, we've utilized the rock walls and we've utilized the natural resource to document, our stories and to remind us of different teachings and events. And there in Canyon de Chelly, we're reminded of how important the night sky is to us, because in Canyon de Chelly, there are many areas in alcoves, on the ceilings of alcoves and small caves and underneath ledges, where we see symbols like this here on the screen. We see marks of plus signs or X signs. And these are rock art images. These are rock art that were created by our people, our ancestors. And on these rock art images, they might look like crosses and pluses, but these are actually constellations and these are stars. This is our interpretation of the night sky as Navajo people that our ancestors observed and documented. So the night sky has been a very big, important part of our role as Navajo people. We use it to navigate the night sky. We use the night sky to also remind us of what season we're in and what activities and ceremonies we can practice and we can do. And from there, we have one constellation that doesn't move, or one star that doesn't move. And most of us in the northern hemisphere are able to see this. And this star that doesn't move, majority of us know it as Polaris, also known as the North Star. And that's a very important star for our people, as all the other stars revolve around it. They move around that one single star. And that one star is a symbol of the fireplace. If we look at the night sky and look at it as a home, then that one single star is the fireplace, and everything revolves around it. Just like in our traditional Navajo homes, which are round structures, we enter our home from the east, and inside of our home, in the center of our home, is the fireplace. And when we enter our home, we always go clockwise. We always move around that fireplace. We're always revolving, and that fireplace is considered the heart of the home. It is the light, it is the warmth, it is the energy of the home. And in the night sky, that dark, that North Star, the Polaris, is that fireplace of the night sky. It's the heart, it's the center, and everything revolves around it, according to our view, for those of us in the northern hemisphere. And we watch this star throughout the different seasons, and we have different constellations that revolve around it, prominent constellations that we see. And one of those is the Big Dipper. And the Big Dipper, also known as Polaris Major, Ursa Major, is one of the most prominent constellations we see from our view here on Navajo land. And we watch it throughout the year, we watch it throughout the seasons. And when we watch it, we have a design, we have a symbol that comes into view. And this is a symbol that our people have been using for thousands of years. We utilize this symbol in our art. We utilize this symbol in our blankets, in our weaving, in our sand paintings. It's depicted on the rock walls and forms of rock art that date back to hundreds and thousands of years. And for us, this symbol, it's a symbol of life. It's a symbol of change through the different seasons, through the times of day, from the sunrise through the blue sky to the sunset back into darkness. It's a symbol of life, representing our 4 stages of life, from birth, childhood, adolescence, to adult years, and back into our elder years, into old age. So this symbol encompasses all of that, and it comes from the night sky as we watch the stars and constellations revolve around that North Star. And this symbol here we identify and call it in our language as Tsinayo Ese, which translates to that twirling logs, which is the motion that we're seeing there. So this symbol here is a very sacred symbol for our people, as it is for many other cultures around the world as well. And we see this in the night sky. But we have many constellations that are significant to the Navajo people, and some of these constellations are shared by other stories and cultures from around the world. In this slide here, you can see 3 photos, and in the center, you can see the image of the fireplace. And that fire is the North Star, that North Star that I've been talking about. We call it Nahokonsbekon. Nahokons is the Navajo word for the northward direction. And Nahokons is actually describing that revolving motion as we look into the night sky, how everything revolves and rotates around that North Star. So that's the term Nahokons. So we call the star here in our language, the North Star, Nahokonsbekon, which is the fire of the north. The image there on your left is the Big Dipper, Ursa Major, and we call this Nahokonsbekon. And Nahokonsbekon is a symbol of fatherhood. He's a reminder of our roles and responsibilities for those of us who are men, who are male. He's a symbol and a person who represents all of our fathers, our uncles, our grandfathers, our brothers, our nephews, our sons, and our grandsons. And he teaches us, the responsibilities of manhood, fatherhood, what it means to be a caretaker of a home. He reminds us of our responsibility to be the protectors and the the one to teach prayer and ceremony to the family and to the children. And he is always rotating around this fireplace and can be seen in the northern hemisphere year round. And opposite from him on the other side of the fireplace is Cassiopeia. And Cassiopeia, for us in Navajo, is pronounced Nahokonspa'adi, which is the female revolving one. And she is a symbol of our mothers. She is a representation of our mothers, our aunts, our grandmothers, our sisters, our daughters, our nieces, our granddaughters. And she reminds our people of what it means to be, a woman, the roles and responsibilities of motherhood, to be the first to instill care, love, and compassion into the home, and to teach the basic foundations of life to the children. So she's a representation of our women. These are the three prominent constellations that are very important for us. And these were constellations in our stories created by the holy people with these stories and teachings. Another very important constellation that I want to talk about here is one that we call Dilyeha. And most people know this as the Seven Sisters in the United States, and other places around the world it's known as Pleiades. And Pleiades, or Dilyeha, is one of the constellations that we as Navajo people watch year round, because this one is one that tells us when to have specific ceremonies and when to do certain activities. And the first activity that's tied to this constellation is our farming and planting. And it's where the Navajo word Dilyeha comes from the Navajo word K'etilya. And K'etilya is a Navajo word for farming or planting. And they say that Dilyeha is prominent throughout the night sky throughout the year, but there's one time of the year where it's very hard and rare to actually see this constellation. And we say that this constellation actually disappears for several weeks from our view and perspective here on Navajo land. And they say that when that constellation of Dilyeha or Pleiades disappears, that's when we plant our seeds. That's when we put our seeds into the ground. And that is when, we take care of our crops and our fields. And this time of year is usually in the month of April, late April through the month of May. They say that if we plant our seeds when Dilyeha is still here, that'll be early to mid-spring. And by that time, Dilyeha, or these 7 naughty boys, as we talk about them in our language, these naughty boys here are going to end up destroying our crops by bringing snow and frost to our people and destroying the fields, freezing the seeds. Then they say if we plant our seeds after the constellation reappears in early summer, then it's too late. By that time, if we plant Dilyeha, the boys are going to stop the rains from coming. They're going to increase the temperatures, the heat, and they're going to burn and bake the seeds that are in the ground. So that's why they say that we don't plant, when this constellation is out and about. And then this time of year in October, November, this constellation is actually appearing in the eastern horizon just after sunset. And when this constellation appears on that side after sunset, it's a reminder of our ceremonies to begin for the winter, our winter storytelling time, and our big ceremonies like the Nightway Yebiche, which is a 10-day healing ceremony, begins when this constellation reappears to the east. So there's a lot more that I could talk about. There's a lot more that I could share, but I just want to share this much with all of you to kind of just give you an appetizer, if you will, an introduction to our stories and our view, just to share how important the night sky is to us as Navajo people from our cultural perspective. And we have similar constellations like Orion, which to us has a Navajo name of Atza, which is the slender one, story of warriorship. Then we have Scorpius, which for us is Atza, which is the elder and the wise one. But we have many more constellations, and obviously we don't have enough time to share all of that. But as an introduction, I want to share this much with all of you, and maybe somewhere down the line, you'll be able to learn more about the cultural aspects, not just of the Navajo, but many of the other Native American tribes in the United States and other indigenous cultures around the world, because these stories have been around for hundreds and thousands of years, almost longer than the science that many of us can comprehend today. But these stories, they hold a lot of truth, a lot of knowledge. So I encourage all of you guys to take an interest in hearing that perspective. But for now, I want to stop and I want to say ahiya to each of you. Thank you for allowing me this time to speak and to share and to enlighten you all with our stories. So that'll be all, and I'll hand the floor back over to you all. Thank you.
That was pretty cool. Doing. Hey. Some nice chats going on. I've approved the people who jumped in. Need a spotlight. Let's do another 10 minutes and we'll do the business meeting.
Dragged off.
What I was doing, gentlemen.
But it's not quite.
Well, another area I, yeah. Oh, that it did much. Yeah. There you go.
I got a breezeway between the house and the garage, it's all part of the house. And I put the wall in.
She has a chance to look. Good work. Open up.
Yeah.
I get through the neck.
I'm sorry, did I do?
Now, where did I download it to? That's the question. Oh, there it is. That was,
It could have been making you luckily it was a professional one.
Isn't that one of the main?
first I thought it was about the movie, 2010, it says 21. Now it's behind the toolbar, there we go. Let's see.
But when I come home, everybody's alive.
Look at that, I found it right there.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone's so alive.
Secretary's report brief. You want me to read it?
You can read it.
Okay, everybody.
We're gonna read it.
Had a party last month at King Farm. There were 40 people present, 8 guests. There was an award given out. Kelly was absent. I did it. We had the observing stuff. There was a let's say outreach. We talked about that December 12th. That was canceled, wasn't it? Yes. Because of the weather. Successful outreach year. We had a very abbreviated business meeting with the financials and the vice president's report. And we had no new business because we had so many things that we had to do. So
It's so much fun.
do I have a motion to accept the minutes as printed in this ballot?
This is Steve Condry. I move.
Mike and Steve. A motion is made and seconded as there, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Our next item would be the treasurer's report.
You're welcome to do it, Coach.
I'm welcome to do it, okay. Income was $362.55. Expenditures, $450 for Astro Park mowing. There was $322.50 for meeting and programs because of the chicken for the holiday party. So the total expenditure was $772. And the account balance at the end of the month was $15,378.91. Now, the next slide is going to have a lot of numbers on it. It is the year in review. I don't expect you to read all that small fine text, but it's included in the meeting as we record it. I am recording, right?
Yes.
Thank you. So if you have any questions, you can ask.
Just that, I don't know if that 19,350 should be as income necessarily, but
The grant.
Are we getting it again?
Last line.
No,
maybe we're applying for something.
Oh,
it is a grant.
Spent most of the money. That's good.
We went to a specific thing, not really to the club.
Yeah, and the outlining of that is still available for that program. The one,
There's like $120 or something left on it.
yes. Okay.
They gotta use that by the next couple months.
What kind of spare parts you think, like eyepieces or?
I was gonna buy a case for the solar stove.
Oh,
In a hard case.
that's a good idea. Okay.
Right now it's in a box.
Cardboard.
It's not cardboard.
Die cut foam and stuff.
That'd be good to put in wood.
Okay. Vice President's report.
I have nothing new to report. I still need to get back in touch with the people to service the White House. I'll be doing that next week. Got distracted with holidays, but I will be getting back on top of things next week and have a report out to you then. And I am planning on visiting Astro Park later this month, weather permitting.
Cool. Thank you, Steve. There are a number of old business items. A lot of them are on hold because it is the winter. Visual committee meeting is the third Saturday of the month at Brain Exchange. OAS member schedule, I gotta work on that. Storage for telescopes. Let's fire up the display here. How do you turn the light on this thing? Hey, there we go. Now, I don't think this goes over Zoom, does it?
You can, you gotta switch the input output
Oh,
and then just zoom your camera into that.
I'm not seeing it online.
No,
Yeah.
but if he,
have to push buttons to do this. And then I have to, you mean like go to my camera and then zoom in on the screen?
yeah, so, stop
Okay.
the display. That would probably be the easiest.
Okay, just a second. I'm gonna do this. I need to turn this off.
Can you dim the light or is it?
Yep.
On the screen too? Well, no, on the screen.
Yeah, well, I can do,
Sure, you're focusing.
There you go.
Oh.
There you go.
Whatever you did just helped out.
Well, you had it.
There, right there. Well,
Well, anyway.
That's good. That's all.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
I think it was in November's meeting that there was a discussion item taken or that we brought up regarding various storage spaces. And I thought this was supposed to include some of the club's equipment as well, but anyway. I actually did some measuring of pieces and parts to see what we would need. And can't really read it too well there, but well, I rounded up to 67 just because. Now, the good news is this accounts probably for about 4/5 of what we have. I probably will go with a final figure of say 75 to 80 square feet when everything gets returned and I can measure them again.
Is that assuming that everything is just set next to each other on the ground?
Funny you should ask that. We were discussing one of the options being a 5 foot by 10 foot. That's not looking right. Let me do that.
There.
Yep. So anyway, I did two layouts of a 5 foot by 10 foot theoretical storage area looking down from the ceiling. An assumption as we look at this is I use 2 square feet for the base of each dom because the sizes actually range. The 20 inches are 19 to 20 inch bases. And the 13 inches almost 2 foot on each side. So I just rounded up. This is probably representative of what I have now. There's a few scopes in, there's a few scopes out. And I used a 3 foot by 1.5 foot shelf kind of as an example of something we could use to store the smaller items like tripods and eyepiece cases and stuff like that. Another variant on the theme is you put a larger shelf at the back and you can put the dobs coming in. That space in the middle would probably be a little wider, actually. That shows the foot wide passageway, which I think would be kind of challenging to work with. But anyway, one of the, if I had to make a decision right now using a 5 foot by 10, this is probably the layout I would choose.
So what's the cost of a 5 by 10 versus maybe a 10 by 10 or whatever the next size?
Well, we have to, that's one of the questions I wanted to throw out here is, we had mentioned storing some other club resources as well. I don't know the size and area of those, so at some point we'll have to figure that out and see if we can work with this with more shelves or we explore a larger option. And I've kind of left it at this point right now, but at least wanted to show everybody what we're thinking anyway. And how I did things based on what I currently have in the Cosmic Warehouse right now, so.
Can you see the other side again?
Is that?
Can we flip the other side again?
Oh.
Like calls the ceiling.
Yeah, this area here is available.
8 foot.
Okay.
Most of them are 12, 10 to 12. You can get 2 sets of shelves in there. You just gotta get some young person to get up there. That's what we.
Well, we probably leave like a step ladder or something.
But obviously, this still needs a little bit more work and I need to put a hypothetical shelf and show a drawing of how I would put things on that, given the opportunity, so. But this is the beginning at least.
Yeah.
And
Maybe able to make some kind of rack maybe for the tripods to keep them.
well, I would propose putting those on the shelves.
That's how I store mine. It's horizontal.
So I know you said that space was a foot, but probably wider. You're gonna be very disappointed if it's not greater than 2 feet. Now, I know you're infrequently in there, but you're.
But if it's a dob, it's not, it doesn't necessarily fill that whole square.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
the
you're
6
gonna
inches, for instance.
imagine-
would be- oh, I'm sorry.
Imagine yourself pulling, the 5 foot is the open end, or is it a 10 foot?
Where's the door at?
Yeah, where's the door?
You can point it down here.
I would say
Right there.
it's right in this area.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. With a 5 foot door, you're gonna play hob pulling
Through the middle
Pulling
of that.
Something off.
this knob out between those two, you know. I've got something stored there.
I'll take the old Air Force approach. 5 foot by 10 foot is a starting position.
Yeah.
Well, also take the Air Force approach that your budget's much bigger than that you ask for, and just get something a little bit bigger.
That's a decision we'll have to make.
Yeah. But I mean, it's good to have concrete info on that and planning it out and.
Oh, no, correct. I'm just saying that we, don't try and cram into a 5x10.
This is.
When
this is a
when you
repre-
pay, yes, it may be double the cost, but it's supposed to be convenience for the club, not a hindrance to the poor guy who's knocked something over.
$25 a month for this one through Storage Mart for 5x10x8.
And Stafford probably hasn't been able to measure like the stuff at my house or Mike's house or someone else's house.
That's the other asterisk in this presentation.
So are you also looking at climate control?
We have to agree on the space requirement.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying that when you come back with a price that I would assume that you probably want climate control.
How many people
We
store
don't
the,
have climate control where I'm keeping it now.
yeah,
You're in a garage, garage is pretty climate controlled as compared to, I mean, Dino storage, climate controlled is probably pretty close to your garage.
Yeah.
Right, but if you have a metal shed in the backyard and you stick stuff in it, that's a lot different than my garage and my shed are completely.
a
different.
connected garage versus a separate garage.
Yeah,
But mine's in a separate garage, and when you want to take it out, it's already acclimated to the temperature.
Yeah.
That could be looked at as a
Where
plus.
the other than the control is good as with electric things if you want to store the batteries.
Right, if you want to charge, if you got.
As far as the scope goes, see. Yeah, Tom is right. It will be ready to go temperature wise when you.
well, nobody's gonna use it from there. They're gonna have it for 30 minutes to an hour before they get to where they're going.
Yeah.
It's not like that's their backyard.
Take it home.
So the other reason I say that, again, I've got a big metal shed. And it rains inside that metal shed. So when it gets cold, in the winter, when there's low humidity, that condensation and metal, you're gonna be dealing with a lot of stuff. And he appears to be fortunate not to have the problem, but we could expose a bunch of equipment to moisture in a way that you don't
Roof
want to.
turbines and some vents in your garage door, and you'll eliminate the condensation pretty nicely.
Well, we don't have that capability.
I have a
That's
5,000
how I
square
learned
foot
about
shed,
that.
it's got 2 vents won't do it.
So. Right now, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
There's no outlet in these.
No, some of them do, some
of them do, some of them don't.
I don't think Dino does.
A lot of them don't even have lights.
Well, yeah, we had to discuss electricity. Is that an area of interest too?
If you wanted to charge the battery, that's all.
Oh,
That's my only reason.
Trickle charge.
so far I've just tended
Yeah,
to bring it
trickle
home
card.
and.
Yeah, keep tells to the town sells it.
Since we're moving things out, we're moving out.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you for the update. Stafford. Yeah. Well, where's my camera? What am I looking at?
All right, we're still looking at the i's and crossing the t's.
Camera.
Not looking at you, we're looking at the camera. There you go.
Really had to choose that from the list. Fun times, huh?
Yeah. But I'm hoping we can fully out by next week. I think we could do it.
43 bucks for a 5x10 with climate.
Out of the studio.
I gotta pull up the next fun thing.
How much to go to?
Some stuff on the printer before we. I think you gotta give us time to get it set up.
First floor premium location.
It'll just go along with.
Okay.
Moving day comes, that comes up.
If you were here last January, this looks very much like last January's, which means I haven't done any edits yet. So that's part of why we meet and do this, is to make any changes. Yes. Now, that's roughly what dues is, right? Around that much? It's like 33,000 or 3,600.
32,000. Where's Mike?
Big change.
Wait a minute, I didn't say 32,000, I said 3,000.
3,000 and
3,600, that's a 20% difference.
Yeah, don't look at me.
You said 33,000.
Well,
We're raising.
3,000,000,000.
Right.
They're doing it the British way.
Next, we'll do the first floor 0.
I know outreach is not really 500. It's usually a little bit more than that. But we're trying to being conservative.
Okay, John, your display is
We clear up this.
Oh,
caught up.
We can't see it.
sorry.
Focus this.
There you go.
There you go. Everybody's using my internet. Wait a minute, I'm on the universities. It's the university's internet.
Don't look at me.
I'm not looking at you.
You are the university, you know. 'cause-
Apparently so. Hey, my husband just got hired too. He starts in June.
Okay, so outreach, we have at 500. Rent is from the buildings down at Astro Park.
Mhm.
Do we actually collect anything down there?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I'm paying them.
That's low.
And then MISC, which I don't remember what that was. That's been there forever.
Well, is that just different donations and stuff like that?
Roughly, yeah.
Was that
Anything from
classes?
Smile anymore?
No, Amazon canceled Smile. So we don't get any income from that. Unless we create like an affiliate store and put stuff in the affiliate store, that's the only way we'd be able to earn any items on it. The fan shop doesn't really, it doesn't make any money. It's just there for people to buy stuff, right?
I think we make like maybe $1 a shirt,
Okay, so
and it's only paid out like every.
petty cash.
So often.
Yeah, they don't write us a check for $1. They wait till it adds up and then they send something. I don't know if you've even got a payout recently.
I don't,
I don't know, I ordered the famous beach towel, so maybe that would have had some income.
We have a beat.
The beach towel, yeah.
Yeah, it's the John Johnson beach towel.
The John Johnson beat the awesome beach towel.
it's large and
Give me one of those.
it's actually one of our more popular items.
Yeah, he bought one.
I should have brought it in.
Next time.
So I don't hear anybody complaining about these numbers.
Look good. I agree.
Okay, all right.
It is what it is.
We'll wait for this one to focus.
It's
Well, it's not
focused.
too bad. Wow. Considering that the last mowing bill was $450. I think that was for several months.
Let's hope.
I'm saying, Mike, can you check real quick? Do you know how many times we paid them?
Let's see here. Well, I can't, because I only wrote down in my report that it's $450, but exactly what it's for would be on the receipt, which is in my computer at home.
Okay. I don't think
But,
he has to
obviously-
charge us
obviously
like
that's-
every so
He
often.
mows about, did he mow every?
I think it was about once a month.
That's what it used to be. The
Is it
total
more often?
mowing for this year was 750.
750? Okay, that's what I was looking for. All right.
I can tell you total dues and stuff too, you know.
Yeah, I'd take that.
The total dues last year was $4,160 roughly.
You're good.
I just put it at 4,100.
I was gonna say, make it about
Well, that'll help a little.
Yeah. Now, just because maintenance says $1,000, it doesn't mean that we've ever used it. It's just there to have it as a line item in case we need to, you know, if there's a problem, whatever.
Yeah.
Sometime if we need rock for the road, we use that fund.
Did we use any of it last year?
Nope.
No, that's.
Of course, we haven't had a rock
a
in
survey though
several
for $1,500.
Yeah.
You might call that sort of maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that, Mike?
We did that
We
survey.
had a survey for 1,500 though.
That's true.
That's kind of
That-
like maintenance.
That pulled out of that.
That wasn't in anything.
Did they send you the layout, the plan?
Didn't send me anything.
We got it.
We have it, but it didn't send me anything.
Oh,
They sent it to Stephanie Lane.
do we got a mailbox down there?
We do not have a mailbox
I
down
didn't
there.
think so.
Yeah, they sent it in care of the property owner and we had to track it down and have them send another copy to us directly.
Yeah,
That's what happened with that.
and it got filed with the county.
Oh, did it? Good.
Yes.
So what about the guy around us now? We get to talk to him? Budget, stay on target.
we gotta stay on the target, sorry.
Half hour.
Keep that in thought, because we have to do something by the 4th of April. Star Party, that's about what, we spent less than that, so. Wait a minute, did that change when I added it? Did, okay. Nice, I did my spreadsheet right. Astronomy Day, that has not changed. It's been $75 the last several times we've done it, right? League dues. It's probably a little bit more if we have more people.
You want more light?
Yeah, this is white already.
$865.
Huh?
$865.
Yes.
665.
I'll just put 900. Awards. How's your award spending, Miss Kelly? Oh, we haven't been turning it in.
Well, that works.
How many awards you get?
I know,
Very.
but the frame, yeah, well,
Frames,
write that up as a. That was the education scholarship was for the science fair. That happens in the beginning of March.
I have got the form here if anyone's interested.
Okay,
It just came out.
now we typically only do this towards an astronomy related subject at the science fair. If there is no astronomy related subject, we tend to not do anything.
Did you do space or just astronomy? With all the SpaceX and rocket flights and that type of stuff, do you incorporate that or not?
If somebody did something like that, we would definitely consider it.
Yeah. We've done
Yes.
anything similar,
Yes.
I think was.
Friday, March 22nd is the date.
Yeah.
They have, in the past, they started to do online judging.
That's no fun.
No.
No, it's not. I do have pictures from the last time we were there in person. That was a fun day, actually. I actually got to leave work and go do it.
I'd keep that amount.
Yeah. Holiday party door prizes. How'd we do on that this year? Is Jordan on?
Hey, I kept it to 200, under, like 195 or something.
Did you?
I will submit that. Yeah.
Thank you. So that's good. We initially raised the holiday party refreshments up because we were doing full catering. This past time, we just did the meat, so that technically covers it. IDA membership, that's essentially a donation to the, it's not IDA anymore, is it? It's just Dark Sky International?
Dark Sky International, I think.
CSI now.
DSI, okay. Department of Secret Investigations. Yep. Insurance, that covers it. I think it was 310 or 306 this past year.
306.
Yep. Library telescope program support. We used some of that, I believe, in the past year before the grant came in.
And then we voted in another 250 to satisfy our part of the grant requirement.
That's right. Okay.
And I believe I'd have to get a readout from Mike, but from my calculations, we used the majority of that.
Yeah.
But that was the one time.
Well, I think we don't have to increase it because we voted to increase it last year.
Well,
And-
the 250 should be fine for normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
With all the additional telescopes?
If we get another, I mean, we're gonna probably try to apply for another grant and.
No, I'm saying with the 50 that are out there now, that weren't out there a year ago, is $250 enough when things get, the projection of things getting broken or whatever?
We're not on the hook to fix those.
Okay.
Not out of pocket at least, and most of it's 3D printed stuff, so it's cheap.
Well, that is true. Yeah.
And I have a surplus of finders. We
Oh,
bought-
that's right. They sent
We
10.
bought a lot of, about 8 I bought 7, he sent me 8, which was nice of him. They're $10 each. For,
Did we modify all those too?
no, I haven't done anything with those. I still gotta do some of those before I send them out.
Alright.
That's fine.
Office supplies,
Getting good office supplies.
that's right.
It would, let's see.
Stamps and stuff.
That's not stamps. That's usually a little bit more, isn't it, nowadays?
Oh, yeah. I guess I've only bought stamps and envelopes.
It's right there, postage.
Oh, there you
All
go.
the papers is a donation on my part.
Yeah, postage is a separate line item. Post office box, if you didn't know, the post office box went up a year and a half ago. It's not cheap.
Yeah. The NSP one went up also.
Apparently the Bennington ones are cheaper.
I just don't want to travel.
Drive all the way to
You wanna
But that'd be a large
We
hassle.
live in Bennington, so.
Yeah, it'd be a large hassle to change all the documentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the filings.
We found out with NSP, right?
Yeah.
Who's gonna drive out there all the time?
What's that?
Who's gonna drive out there all the time?
Yeah, well,
Then we buy.
see, that's a difference in the gas, and it doesn't make any sense. See, that's how you justify it.
And gas.
Yep.
And maybe a lunch.
A lunch?
What, the Runza?
No,
Gas station. Yeah.
A gas station, they got good
Bar.
barbecue.
Okay.
And that's the deterrent to
Yeah.
not.
Where's the PO box at?
It's up at, Crown Point.
Hmm.
It's adjacent.
I actually. Is that near Benson?
No.
No.
I'm going north.
Oh, I thought I heard Benson in there.
It's 100, it's 100
Okay,
Crown Point. So,
okay.
Walmart.
yeah, it's by the Walmart.
No, 680.
Ah,
Yeah, so it's adjacent to Mike and myself.
ah.
Okay, John, 20 minutes.
20 minutes, okay, presidential discretionary expense, 300.
Yeah.
Program expense is 300. Refreshments is 100, that's like bringing stuff into here. You just kind of work on that. Stella website, domain and emails, so that's, our website address, omahaastro.com, all the email addresses associated with the officer positions, so on and so forth. Telescope loan program repairs was a program that was started several years ago when Stafford was going through and repairing many of those telescopes, and he had asked for a budgetary item. Does that need to be adjusted up or down, you think, Stafford?
No, we could adjust it down since I haven't really spent a lot of money on anything.
Why don't you
You're
leave
right,
it
it was-
until you get your building
For a good while, it was.
for the
Because
show?
This could also float into the storage
Yeah.
from a
Yeah.
budget
Yeah.
standpoint.
Put a flash
It just
storage.
goes into the general fund at the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
And then it gets recycled.
Well, if that's the case, why don't we just leave it as it is in case we have an explosion?
Yeah.
And Zoom is 0 because our friends at University of Nebraska Omaha allow us to use their Zoom.
Thank you, Krista.
No problem.
We just had that in there just in case. So that's the
We don't
total.
pay room rent either. I
that's
sponsor,
more than-
planetarium
that's more
sponsors
than right.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we
Has
don't
been
spend- we don't
every
spend-
time. But we
And we
seem
still
to
have
do
money.
okay.
Well, I mean, technically
Yeah.
this year we got 25,000.
If you've seen the yearly report, it's like the amount came in and the amount spent, there's only a difference of like $200.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're overestimating our expenses.
yeah. We don't always go anywhere near that number.
Yeah.
Although, yeah.
Just
planning
a
any
framework.
Thing this year for Astro Park, like the fences or
Big metal poles to keep the tractor on the right side of the poles.
Guns.
Yeah.
I got that
what do
covered.
you call them?
I don't know how much a fence is gonna cost.
Hedgehogs or whatever.
I do too.
Like they put all over you clean out and everything.
So that would go under the maintenance.
That's different.
Yeah.
Where do we need a fence?
To keep the
Keep
other
the
people
farm
out.
Where we have
Oh.
a fence now, but
So if you put a fence up, it'd be like a barbed wire fence, T-post with a barbed wire fence?
Now let's just electrify it.
It
Let
used
him
to be
touch it once.
electrical
Should
for
be
40,
electricity.
but we could do solar powered
Oh.
electric fence. They sell those.
Goodwill had a couple of them too.
Are you trying to keep the farmer out, or are you trying to keep the animals out?
The animals.
Okay, I thought it was the farmer.
Because when you're walking around at Astor Park in the dark and you hit a couple of cow
Squish.
patties,
Oh, that's nothing. Wait till you walk up on foxes.
yeah,
They
well,
scream, scare the hell out of anybody.
and then you have a,
They're making
no,
little
I won't go
foxes.
there.
You're recording.
Yes, Mike,
We talked about wood posts
the corners.
at the corners or and then maybe in the middle, every so often.
Yeah, because you have to space them out.
And then T-posts in between.
So they're 8 foot posts usually.
The wood post would make it a little harder for him to.
4 feet
As
in the
long as
ground.
he doesn't
4 feet
care,
above.
because it's not hard with his machinery to
No.
move them.
That's correct.
But I mean, we're making our.
They're on our property. He cannot remove them.
No,
If
Yeah,
he
no.
does.
He's
we
done it.
have to-
Cannot legally.
Correct.
he's done it already though. We pulled them up
Oh,
and moved
no.
them 4 foot over to the road.
We now have that assessment as to where the property lines are. We put it inside our property line.
I don't know if we really need to tell them that we're building a fence,
No, you don't.
Nope, it's
But
on your property.
but it'd be nice to let them know.
I would.
I don't know who the owner of the field is.
The owner's not the farmer.
No, it's two separate things.
But the owner knows the farmer if it becomes a.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would contact the owner who would then contact the farmer. Should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
In
I think
the
it's good.
interest of being neighborly.
PR, yeah.
Yeah.
Good PR.
And the only
Allow him to
person,
dispute it before he tore it.
would that be Terry who might know that?
Can you look it up on the?
Terry should know it because he's also got the property behind us,
Yeah.
the rock quarry, so he should know who the farmer is.
Douglas County assessment.
And you'd have to go to the hardware store in,
Sometimes.
Weeping Water, talk
sometimes
to
it's
him.
not always listed under.
Yeah.
He changes.
Rodney knows them.
Some neighbor knows the owner.
Yeah.
15 minutes?
Yep.
Okay. So we have to do something with this budget.
I move
Sounds
that we
good.
approve the budget as,
Second it.
as
Before you go,
printed.
then I've got a question. Can you honestly approve a budget that has more expense than?
Done it every year. so
Yeah.
far.
We've done it every year.
It's just a framework.
We don't have a balanced
spend all
budget
of it.
amendment that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just checking.
if we. It's basically an authorization to expend that amount of money.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So presidential discretion.
Yeah, quite a few of those things we never.
Gotta use it someday.
Playing the government deficit spending.
Okay, I'm satisfied.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, a motion has been made and seconded to accept the budget.
Who seconded?
Tom Wilson. Nina Baker was primary. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you, Steve.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Bill knows better.
Thank you. Next meetings, oh, you know what? I can't close the meeting yet. I want to discuss something real quick. This summer, the July meeting is the 5th, which means they're probably doing the fireworks at Memorial Park that Friday night.
Yeah,
Usually they do those the week before.
The week before?
Yeah.
Let's see if it's on the calendar.
Yeah, can you check that? I don't know if they'll have the planning up, but
If they have a date,
They have a day,
2024.
because they have
Yeah,
musical
they
acts.
moved
They
the
got a-
concert to the end of July.
Yeah, the concert's on the 30th is what it says here,
Oh, okay.
June 30th?
June 30th. Oh, that said 23, sorry. I asked for 24, it gave me 23.
However, we still want to have a meeting on the 5th.
That's the question that we're bringing up.
I'm sure I'll be.
New Year's fireworks, 23. Yeah, everything so far is giving me 23, nothing about 24.
Yeah.
Quote.
The city hasn't done it yet.
Oh, they had to, fucking do it by now.
Do we need to just table it till next month?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
See
Okay,
what we can find out
Because,
between
all
now
right,
and
for
then.
July, we can decide next month.
Yeah, or whenever the city
Yeah.
gives us a schedule. Yeah.
August, we can decide tonight.
Yeah, because.
Because NSP is happening
When is Miserable?
first Friday,
Right.
that's this seventh,
Which is,
Yeah.
No, August.
the eighth, seventh, eighth and ninth. So
which
it's
is
the
the
week
first
after.
Friday of.
That's first Friday of
Friday
June.
Yeah, that's
Is
right.
that it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oops.
How did we miss that?
We'll have to skip that meeting. It's the summer of skipping.
We'll just push it back a
For
week.
2 weeks.
push them back.
We'll push them all back a week in some of the summer and we'll be fine. It technically covers them all, right?
Oh, I have 2 events.
Because what, it's August,
Second.
August second is, the meeting.
is NSP, so a week later, the ninth.
Ninth,
Yeah, that's the public day.
right.
And June,
June 7th,
Be the 14th.
June 8th, wherever it was. 7th.
I just want to be able to put it in the Stella early enough to have them in there.
So what are we looking at? June 7th?
So we're gonna do.
It'll be June 14th,
Right.
July 12th.
July 12th, and August 9th.
Right.
What's in June?
And when's,
Miserable.
Mid-States region.
Miserable.
Yeah.
Which we're hosting, so we can't.
Yeah.
Can't miss that one.
Yeah. We can invite everybody in Miserable and cover the OAS meeting.
That's why.
Okay, yes,
I'm sure they'd love that.
We'd fit everybody.
You guys have a good time.
Come
see this hot mess. We got a meeting to go to, so you guys enjoy.
Okay, you good with that?
Yep.
All right, I have
Just
another
remind me
date to
so I
throw
can
out.
Change the reservations. June 14th.
Spring Star Party,
Whoa.
Saturday, May 11th.
Somewhere around New Moon.
It's close.
Is it close to? Yeah, I don't know what New Moon is.
The 12th.
I made the slide, I just changed the date. That's just the previous slide that I had from last time. So
Just
technically,
for everybody's situational awareness, that is the day before Mother's Day.
oh,
Yeah, but nobody does anything until Mother's Day except the fair, right? It's not like a vacation time.
Call 9 and say.
Yeah, but that's Mother's Day. I'm saying people don't typically travel for Mother's Day.
no, unless they go to travel to see their mom.
Yeah.
So if people are here, raise your hand if that's a conflict for you, usually Mother's Day.
It is. I work for my sister's and brother-in-law's place, but that's just another thing.
So we got one
They
conflict.
give me lunch. I was gonna say, are you calling your brother and mother?
work real cheap.
Lunch today.
No, I did. That's fine.
We put you guys at the spot. but
Bring it down.
Gonna kinda see how-
Well, we still have time, right?
Okay.
It's out there. How are we on time? 9 minutes?
9 minutes.
Does anybody have any cool ideas for stuff we could ask for if we got another grant? I mean, what do you want for the club?
Courage. We can't write it for
No,
this.
you can't.
It's gotta be.
Astro Park improvements.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
That's for parking.
Now, if we do that though.
That we would become public then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
fine.
fine.
No.
Turn it
It's
into-
gotta
I
be
don't
probably
think we
kind of
wanna do-
outreach focused, but if you
Yes.
think of anything that'd be cool to have that we can also use for outreach.
If it was a private individual donating, that's a different story.
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk about a projector.
Yeah.
Do you want one of those huge
No, they're-
moon or Mars maps? The ones that
Yeah.
are like 20 feet by 20 feet?
Yeah.
You can just buy those.
Valentine.
Yeah,
I mean, you can buy anything, I suppose.
I don't know, our camp is buying one.
How much, yeah, any idea how
I
much?
don't know, I'd have to look it up.
Okay.
Like portable
Dome.
dome.
Portable planetarium?
Yeah.
We got one. It's coming mid-February.
How much does that cost?
I don't know, it's under grant money.
Well, yeah, it was.
You can talk about it afterwards.
I mean, it's depends on what you want. We got something.
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
nice.
Alcon's coming up this summer in Kansas City, by the way.
Oh, well, it's there.
So if you're
Sponsor-
looking at
Sponsored trip.
having a summer of conferences, it does not conflict with NSP, right, Mr. Mike?
It does not.
Or Misrule.
2 weeks now.
2 weeks difference.
Yeah.
What is Alcon?
It's the Astronomical nationwide convention.
When the meeting is
So-
over, I'm gonna forget.
And you get to look at Kansas City.
Yeah.
It's a 3-hour drive versus driving to like Albuquerque, to all these other far away places.
Last year.
Is that where it was last year?
Bill, do you,
Motion to close. Second.
Yes.
a motion has been made by Bill Powman and seconded by Mike Noterson to adjourn.
Bill, who?
Bond. Sorry. That just,
Who's
I haven't thought of him since I worked, that was an old coworker. Sorry, Bill, Bill Bond.
Bill, you changed your name?
You see one bill, you've seen them all.
Wow, that is weird. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I haven't had the person.
You're gonna follow
haven't
him?
done this yet.
Vote.
The motion is made and seconded to adjourn the business meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Sorry, Bill.
We go into back tap house. Anybody wants to join us for after hours?
So.
Tap house.
Yep.